At the time, me and my good friend had a debate whether utilitarianism fits the situation or not. I mean, knock that weak shit off. Those reactions only expose how panicked we were when you start seeing stupid motherfuckers looking for savor. I never heard any cities locked down because their people don't work out. It's not about people's fear is rational or not. It's about you always come up with a solution to make them shut the fuck up. They were frustrated about doing meaningless shit for a couple thousand RMB per month's income. It feels so personal, like they finally got a chance to tell you what to do. Man, it's just never too much to do when you're dealing with them bitch ass. They even sang the international song. I mean, come on. You're not tired of being a slave. You're just tired of not having income for such a long time. On the galloping train of China's COVID situation, that one person it will kill is not just a city worth of people. Okay, this topic is requested. My man was asking how they handle COVID in my city, like the vaccine and how mandatory it was. Besides his questions to attract good ideas, I will give you everything, from COVID start to the end. From how panicked we were to eventually tired of our own panic. How the government foresee and react to people's reaction and behavior. This video is gonna give you a better idea about the relationship between our people and our government. I hope you enjoy. Late 2019 in Wuhan, all of a sudden the hospital in that city reportedly received dozens of patients with the same symptom of an unknown disease. And it's only getting worse because it's easily contagious. It didn't take too long for people to realize the seriousness of it. It caused death. Our people were so fucking panicked at the time. I'm sure you have seen those reports. Crowds in the hospital, people yelling, children crying, the doctors losing it. The next day you heard them hospital run out of the room. And they were saying there's no point to go to the hospital besides psychological comfort, which you were not gonna get neither because there's nothing but chaos in there. And you started hearing the cities locked down. Anybody's in contact with the infected were in quarantine. Nobody step on the street no more in Wuhan. Ideally, they trying to keep that virus in one city. At the time, me and my good friend had a debate whether utilitarianism fits the situation or not. A classic dilemma. When you're on a galloping train, there's 5 people on the rail. If you don't do shit, the train's gonna kill them. However, you can put a joystick and divert the train. There's only one guy on the other path. Would you kill that guy with intention to save more lives? 90% of respondents say they would. You thought that one guy represents Wuhan, but it's much deeper than that. I will talk about it at the end. But ever since that, people's panic became even worse. They paranoid because they wonder how bad the situation could be to shut down the whole city. A lot of sensitive motherfuckers start to pray for Wuhan. I mean, knock that weak shit off. You better start to pray for yourself if you're that scared of death. Because a couple months later, the virus was everywhere. There is no way you can control it by manpower. It's gonna spread no matter what you do. Nature is just so much stronger. I don't believe human civilization had any chance at that point. Considering the smartest guy who has ever lived, Albert Einstein, had only developed 20% of his brain. Meanwhile, an average guy developed 10% of it. On top of that, I couldn't believe I actually agree with Trump in the consideration of COVID. It's just a severe version of flu. Why we gotta be so pussy about it?
You know, you do certain things that you do when you have the flu. I mean, view this the same as the flu. When somebody sneezes, I mean...
It's easily contagious, but the death rate is so fucking low, like 1 of 1,000. Meanwhile, the death rate of obesity is over 2%. I just didn't see the virus worth the hype. Like, I never heard any cities locked down because their people don't work out. Meanwhile, you start hearing people heal by themselves. A lot of Chinese traditional medicine practitioners started to advocate their folk remedies like sniff an onion every day. I feel stupid just by hearing it. But a lot of Chinese people was buying this shit because they feel secure in their comfort zone where what they used to believe come up with a solution for them. But I mean, open your fucking eye, my dear people. Motherfuckers out there in the world heal by drinking whiskey. Like, come on, it's not about your recent diet. It's about your immune system and your mindset. Those reactions only expose how panicked we were when you start seeing stupid motherfuckers looking for savor. We actually have a saying, 临时抱佛脚. It means pray to Buddha when you sense the trouble is close. It's a phrase to indicate it's not gonna fucking work if you haven't been doing good shit consistently. As for COVID, if you're about to die for this shit, the only person you should blame is yourself, because either you didn't fucking exercise frequently, or your lack of independent thinking got easily carried away by others' fear. The more you were scared of death, the more likely you were about to die, because you were fucking up your mentality. Just like anybody around the world, Chinese people are the same. We're lazy when we feel weak, we're passive-aggressive when we're incompetent, and we're cowards when we're in danger. So when COVID hits, people lose their composure. It's like a perfect excuse for giving up their shitty life. Our government fucking knew what's coming. They were like, you're so fucking panicked, right? You're willing to give up everything to avoid COVID. Okay, let's do it. Let's try a zero COVID strategy, see if you like it or not. Because otherwise, no matter how explained the virus was not a big deal, people are gonna think you're not even trying. You're irresponsible, end up losing their trust to the government. It's not about people's fear is rational or not. It's about you always come up with a solution to make them shut the fuck up. I hate to say it, but a lot of people ain't got no better shit to worry about. They gossip, they got easily carried away. They're like a bitch. When a bitch asking for Chanel, you don't tell her to work on herself to get real recognition. She's gonna say you don't love her. Instead, you buy her the Chanel to make her shut the fuck up, so you can keep working on yourself. And what you do when the bitch don't want no COVID? You lock down the whole fucking country. Man, it's just never too much to do when you're dealing with them bitch ass. One person got COVID, you start seeing dozens of white uniforms show up. They shut down the whole community, the whole fucking area. Nobody in, nobody out, until everybody inside was clean for 14 days. Those white uniforms ain't no motherfucking doctors. It was a temporary job. I talked to those guys. Some of them used to work as deliveries or construction workers. They were simply unemployed during COVID. So they started doing this. Their job was more like a COVID security, pretty much just making sure people don't step out of their door when quarantined. Sometimes they help you take out the trash, sometimes they take your ass out. And there's a certain type of job became interesting during COVID, such as outsourced security. Those people ain't no big black dude you don't want to mess with. They're rural people in their 50s or 60s. Haven't had much nutrition since they were born. Been through cultural revolution, probably don't know how to read. Their wives work as cleaners in another city. Their kids are hustling or in college. Give them a hard time in Lunar New Year when they finally meet each other. Besides sharing some financial load from their family, all they want is to prove their existence is meaningful by showing people they're not ignorable. Most case scenario, they don't have a chance because not too many people fall into the criteria of their jurisdiction. Instead of getting respect, they get told what to do. But when COVID hit, they started to have orgasm. It was their time to shine. They were granted a higher priority mission besides serving for people's convenience and safety, which was checking 健康宝, which was like a digital certificate of your current COVID status. You must scan their QR code, then your COVID status will show up, and they give you permission to enter your own community. And sometimes they took it too far, be acting like your life depends on, giving you attitudes and shit. It feels so personal, like they finally got the chance to tell you what to do. You always hear people yelling downstairs. You don't even have to look. It was your neighbor argue with the security guard. You saw the situation could get better after we had vaccine, but it was only getting worse. Talking about vaccine, it's not mandatory by the government, but it could be mandatory by your boss. For example, the first vaccine was pretty much mandatory by every office building, and they got securities too. And during the worst period, you have to take the COVID test every other day to ensure you have access to your workplace and your home. If you fail to take it on time, your digital certificate will appear abnormal, and you cannot go anywhere, not even the market. You had to take the test again and wait until it's renewed the next morning. So you always see people line up to take the test. I would say the only positive side was a lot of criminals turn themselves in after hiding for years, even decades, because the digital certificate required real name authentication. If you don't wear a mask in the public areas such as subway, the police are gonna give you trouble. And it feels so fucking personal because they were frustrated as well. They were frustrated their wives were unemployed. They were frustrated about doing meaningless shit for a couple thousand RMB per month's income. Even the middle-aged female male staff will find a way to get on the high road if they see you not wearing a mask. Because they just simply ain't got no better shit to care about. They ain't got no customer. Meanwhile, giving people command makes them feel superior. And people avoid the travel. Despite you have to quarantine for several days after your arrival and departure, both cities could lock down and you were not able to come back. September 2021, I was trapped in Guangzhou for an extra 14 days during a business trip because my digital certificate didn't renew when I was traveling. Ended up I couldn't purchase the ticket back home. I had to stay there until it's renewed. It was pure technical problem. When I was finally back to my city, my parents came to pick me up. I was so pissed when I met them because I was 28 years old. I didn't need you out here. Why were you not with my grandma? After a moment of silence, my dad told me she passed away 2 days ago. So, I never had a chance to say goodbye to the person who raised me. It took a long while for people started to question which was worse, the virus or the inconvenient depressive lifestyle. November 2022, people finally had enough. They started to protest. I was laughing my ass off at the time because it was y'all stupid motherfuckers started to panic in the beginning. It's been 3 fucking years. Y'all finally done with panicking. They even sang the international song. I mean, come on. You're not tired of being a slave. You're just tired of not having income for such a long time. Motherfuckers finally done with paying for their own stupidity and overreaction. Meanwhile, the government couldn't afford the expense neither. And all of a sudden, all the man-made events about COVID disappeared. Digital certificate, white uniforms, COVID tests, mean people. People started to have COVID and people healed by themselves. And COVID kind of disappeared as well. Everything back to normal in just 2 months. Now, it's time to bring back the utilitarianism debate. On the galloping train of China's COVID situation, that one person you will kill is not just a city worth of people, but mutual respect and trust, rationality, independent thinking, freedom, and much more. Meanwhile, the 5 person you save is not people's life, but people's stupid instinct and their dependency to the government. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time, I'm gonna talk about Chinese middle-aged women, aka Chinese carrot. Or let me know if you want.
你打算怎么活？你这辈子先问问你怎么活的这岁数？自打几岁开始坠入了这深渊，就变成了废物。花天酒地的你最对路，花你妈的钱你羞愧吗？他含着泪在帮你找退路，催点退吗？